Good morning and good afternoon and good evening, my fellow masterminds. I'm Glen Henderson, and this is the world famous John Lavenia Success Mastermind for this kind of a big day, Wednesday, January 27th of 2021. I'm your host, Glenn, and it's a big day. Well, you'll find out why in a minute. Some of you already know. First, let's get to a little housekeeping, shall we? What's on the calendar today? Perhaps you've been to the hospitality suite this morning, early this morning. Right after this, come on by the hospitality suite again and say hi. Then we've got Books for Britain with our good friend Mandy Anderson. That is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the US of A. You all across the pond can translate that, convert that time as you see fit. And we'll see you there. Just a minor programming note, there will be no networking magic with yours truly this evening. And in a moment, you're going to find out why. You know, it's so nice to see all of you here. Richard, welcome. And Elmer, Carl, Neil and Jane, Gail, Koila, great to see you. Allison and our gal in Switzerland, Suzanne, nice to see you. And the Laughing Irishman, of course, Bill, and Evelyn Smith, Linda Landry, got to get your autographed copy. Daisy and Mary, holy moly, Janet's here. Look at you, Sandra and Sandy, our friends Cyril and Nicola, Emma Jordan, and Adrian Garner, front and front and center, the good Lieutenant Colonel Mark Riggle. Nice to see you. Well, listen, I mentioned that there'll be no networking magic tonight. The reason is because I'll be celebrating. Paula and I are going to have dinner at our favorite restaurant for this, my birthday. Today, yes, today's my birthday. Thank you so much. I've received so many wonderful congratulations and well wishes from my friends here and hither and yon, and it's really, really lovely to see so many people reaching out to say hello on a special day. Evelyn even baked a cake. You see that over in our private Facebook group? It's fantastic. That's. I'm sure it was deliberate, Evelyn. I'm sure you were just messing with my mind, baking the cake from the other franchise, right? That other franchise. I take it in the spirit intended. Thank you so much. You know, I have to confess, I didn't actually prepare anything for today to talk about today. I know different people handle their moderating and facilitating responsibilities differently, do a lot of work and preparation. I know Adrian studies for hours on end, preparing to drop his pearls of profundity upon us, and we do appreciate it. As I say, I'll confess I didn't prepare anything for today. Then again, you might say I've been preparing for this moment for 60 years. What I'd like to do, if it's all right with you, is share a couple of the reasons why I'm still here, which is the topic of our talk today, topic of our chat. I'm still here. Basically to list, to give you a partial list of the people and things and circumstances and happenings and stops and starts and stumbles and stupid ass moments that have all combined to help me get to where I am today. Is that all right? Sound like a plan? First of all, praise God, from whom all blessings flow. I am enormously grateful to my parents, my mother, Eleanor Henderson, and my father, Otis Henderson Sr. May God rest his soul. They raised us right. They raised us to love God and work hard and to look after each other and to look after our friends and to have an open door to people in need. Isn't that so important in our world today? I'm grateful to my very first school friend that I can think of, kid named Adam Green. I had so much fun hanging out and playing with Adam Green. You know, I was with Adam when man first landed on the moon, July 11th, 1969. And we were there at St. Anne's School watching and enjoying it and watching in wonder together. I'm grateful to Captain James T. Kirk and Lieutenant Commander Spock and Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy and Commander Montgomery Scott and all the officers and crew of the original Starship Enterprise, who, as I mentioned in the book, taught a wild-eyed kid how to look up into the stars and dream. I'm grateful to my very first high school crush, Judy Woods. You know, it's an interesting experience to fall in love for the first time, isn't it? And there have been many, many great and even greater relationships of various types since then and over the years, but you never really forget your first. I'm grateful to Dr. Robert A. Cook. Who's Dr. Robert A. Cook? The president of the King's College, where I attended university here in the state of New York, as a music major, and the principal soloist, the college choir, and principal conductor, the college orchestra, as student conductor. And Dr. Cook used to refer to me as the Leopold Stokowski of the evangelical world. And he inspired me to be more than I could be, to be more than I thought under God. And my old friend Andrew MacArthur, with whom I started a band in college called Touch a Star. That was my very first paid music gig. Look back on the first gig we did together was at a roller skating rink in 1977. So you could say that I have been making music for money for 44 years. And what a hell of a ride it's been. Mac was an amazing musician, guitarist, songwriter, intellect, wonderful, wonderful man. He passed away about 10 years ago, and his absence is keenly felt. Grateful to the best man at my first wedding, David Mordecai, who was my last college roommate. Wonderful, wonderful guy who taught me how to eat caviar, among other things. He used to say, I tasted it and I said to him, Dave, this is kind of weird. He says, don't think of it as fish eggs. Think of them as little salty grapes. You know, that worked. And Dave and I were friends for many years. Adrian, this ought to interest you. David has gone on to make millions upon millions of dollars in derivatives. Great, great guy, great man. I'm grateful to Kevin Harris and Kendall Minix and Mark Kocinski and Brad Robertson and Chuck Sarchione. Who are these guys? The members of the very first rock and roll band I fronted, called Freedom Jam. We toured a bunch of states in the US and 5 provinces in Canada. And that was the tour where I learned how to be an entertainer. After having spent my college years learning how to sing, being taught how to sing by the greatest voice teacher anyone could ever have, I'm so grateful to Bonnie Bradley, who taught me how to sing. I'm grateful to Catherine Mary Quinlan, my first wife and the mother of my two beautiful daughters, Claire and Elizabeth. Kathy's a wonderful, solid Christian woman, an amazing mother, and a pillar in her community to this day. My daughters, Claire and Lizzie, Claire's 32 years old now, lives in New York, lives in California, works in the wine business, and my youngest, Lizzie, is 30 years old, and she's a professional musician. And no, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. You know, my daughters may or may not know it, but they taught me about being a good dad. And someday, I hope to be one. I'm grateful to Danny Wilson and Big Bill Mills and Chen Fun Fu and Ken Cole and so many others who were my first friends when I moved to the Middle East, lived in Qatar for 10 years. What an experience that was. I'm going to tell you a story just as quickly as I can. There was a period there in Qatar where, through many, many really bad mistakes and my own stupidity, I ended up broke, jobless, and without a passport or a work visa. As many of you know, if you're going to work abroad, live and work abroad as an expat someplace, you generally need a work visa in order to live in that country. I didn't have one. So I couldn't work, couldn't make any money. And I didn't have a passport, so I couldn't go home, couldn't leave. So I spent the better part of 4 years as quite literally a man without a country. And a very dear friend named of Jan van Loon and his wife, who owned a construction company there, offered me a place to stay, a place to crash, on one of the labor camps that he maintained for his crew, his workers. He cleared out a room for me, and those guys, those workers, they took me in like I was one of their buddies, like I was one of their brothers. They fed me and looked after me, and so many other people. My dear, wonderful friend, Linda Obel, who set up a job for me. We became very close friends. And then Linda set up a job for me working at her tutoring center, the tutoring center where she ran. And you know what she did? In order to get around the labor laws and everything else, she set up my job in such a way, set up so that my pay was considered part of petty cash. So I didn't show up on the books. And I wouldn't get in trouble. Well, who does that? I'll tell you who does that. Linda Obel does that. I'm grateful to so many friends there who became great friends and came to see my shows. Thousands and thousands of people who came and cheered and danced and bought me drinks. You know that for 7 years, I was able to make money making music over there. And the most marvelous experience in so many ways. Paula Wigley, my dear wife, who we were introduced by mutual friends while I was living over there. And we came here, been here 6.5 years. Well, let me just say this about that. Gentlemen, you know what I mean, don't you, when I say there's nothing like the love of a good woman. I am fortunate and blessed to say I have the love of a great woman. I'm grateful to my very first MLM sponsor, my very first multi-level marketing sponsor, a guy named Brian Curry, who taught me not just about the business, but about business and about relationships, Adrian, and about life and about mindset and what it means to walk around with a positive mental attitude. Thanks, Brian. I'm grateful to Mike McDonald and John O. Jones and on and on and on, and so many names I could call of people who have helped me and coached me and guided me on my marketing and network marketing and MLM and consumer direct and marketing and direct selling journey. Todd Falcone, Tony Rush, Eric Worre, Joe Lewis, Gil McIff. Oh, I could go on and on. Wish he were here, but I'll get to him in a minute. Well, you know what? Let's get to him right now. John, you have inspired me and coached me and changed my life in ways you don't even know about. And I thank you for your work ethic that you demonstrate to us every day. Ah, there he is. Y'all mind if I start over with this paragraph? We're just talking about all the people that I'm grateful to whom I'm grateful for helping me along this journey. And John, your timing is impeccable.
Actually, I'm like way late. I just finished a meeting. Happy
friend,
birthday, brother. Happy birthday.
Thank you. My friend, you, in the first place, you're a machine. You're an absolute machine. And that drives me to automate myself and to become, your work ethic inspires me. And your passion inspires me. And you've coached me and guided me and enhanced my life in ways you can't even know. And I will be eternally grateful to you and Shannon and Trinity. That fabulous little smile. I love you, brother. I always will. And all of you, excuse me, and all of you, you know, when John asked me if I'd be open to joining up with this crazy crew, I had to ask him, you know, listen, that's a great offer. I'm very flattered. I'm going to need, as you can imagine, I'm going to need a little time to think about it. Hell yeah, I'm in. To all of you who inspire me, each in your own special way, you've made me laugh, you make me laugh, you make me think, you make me want to be a better businessman and a better man. Evelyn, Koila, Allison, Toba, Elmer, Cyril, Sandra, Richard, Sandy, Edward, Emma, Susie, Giovanna, Gail, Linda, Evelyn, Daisy, Mark, Neil, Suzanne, Robin, Therese, the money lady, Lindsay, Khalid, Virginia, Mandy, Mark, Adrian, and of course, she who must not sleep. Ivier, thank you. Coral, my thanks, my appreciation to all of you. And I'll say, oh, almost forgot. The towering giants of music who have inspired me over the years, whom I've tried to emulate in one way or another, and who drive me to always want to be the best singer, the best musician I can possibly be. Mozart, Bach, Brahms, Maurice White, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Pat Benatar, Sarah McLachlan, James Taylor, Kansas, Rush, Journey, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Glenn Miller, Ella Fitzgerald, Mel Torme, Al Jarreau. I'm still thinking someday when I grow up, I'd like to be able to sing just like Al Jarreau. And of course, Freddie Mercury, Prince. These people have made me into the musician I am today. And I'm going to carry that with me all of my life. So, what's all this mean? Well, for one thing, it means, for me, nobody does nothing alone. I've not come to where I am alone. All of you have been on the journey with me. And there are so many thousands of other people who've touched my life. The names on all of these books along my shelves. People who've changed my life and don't even know it. And I'm about to jump on an interview in a few minutes with my good friend Suzanne Doyle Ingram, who some months ago got on a Zoom call with me and said, Glenn, write the damn book. So I did. And Paula helped enormously. And from some of the responses that I've seen and read and heard so far, there's something in the book of some value, and I'm grateful for that. So you don't even get to make an impact alone. You don't get to make money alone. You don't get to do nothing alone. And that's good news. So follow your promptings. Follow your inspiration. Somebody called it follow your bliss. Okay. If you got something to say to somebody, say it. If there's something you've always wanted to do, but for whatever reason, go ahead and do it, will you? Please don't let fear stop you. I did for a long time. One of the only regrets of my life is the only time I feel regret is when I look back on all of the things that I might have done and didn't do because I let fear stop me. Little suggestion. Please don't let fear stop you. Live your life. And finally, my friends, as the old saying goes, life is short. Eat dessert first. And that's that for me running my mouth today. Thank you all for joining me on this, at this milestone along the journey. I feel quite literally like I'm just getting started. So there you go. What do you think? What's on your mind? What's on your heart? Talk to me. I've talked long enough and then some. Who's thinking what? And yeah, Jamie, you know, this is one of those moments, right? You always say, when you're asking for comment, Q&A, the last thing you want to hear is crickets. Fortunately, don't have to hear crickets because Adrian's up. Adrian, what do you think, my friend?
Glenn, fantastic. I can feel your gratitude. I can feel you clutching the gratitude rocks there. I think I better get mine out again. There's a lot to be grateful for, and the people that cross our paths that leave us with so much over the years. It's just wonderful, isn't it? And as you say, we can't do it alone. I mean, you've been through a lot, Glenn, by the sounds of it, and from everything you've told us on the calls. What would you say about obstacles? I think you just come across as the most incredibly positive person with a lot of force and energy. I mean, you've just broken down those obstacles, but not alone, with other people. And how do you feel about obstacles? Can we all do it?
That's an excellent question, Adrian. This guy I know, there's this dude I know, every time he comes up to an obstacle, you know what he says? What an opportunity. My personal feeling about obstacles, Adrian, is if you don't suffer, how can you celebrate? If there's no pain, if there's no pain, how can there be any bliss, any ecstasy? If there's no agony, how can there be any ecstasy? If there's no darkness, what is light? So we must struggle. We have to. It must be a part of the journey, because if there's no struggle along the journey, then where you get to, the destination, ain't worth nothing. Muhammad Ali once said, or at least this was attributed to him, he said, "Don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." Nobody likes struggle, or at least no one who's reacting to it like everybody else likes struggle. What I would suggest to me is learn to enjoy struggling. Learn to enjoy rejection. Learn to enjoy hearing no's. Get excited when you see an obstacle coming. Why? Because our greatest victories, our greatest achievements are always just on the other side of our fears. So, and by the way, you start looking at life that way, to the average person, you will appear insane. Good. Who wants to be sane anyway? If complaining about struggle all the time is what it means to be sane, who wants that shit? What I feel about obstacles, I'm still working on this myself. Learn to get excited when you see an obstacle coming. When something jumps up in your path in front of you, get excited, because that is life preparing you for the greatest victory of all. Lindsay, what say you, Money Mama?
Happy birthday.
Thank you, darling.
And obstacles, what was going through my mind when I look at them as prepositions. You can get through them one way or another. You can go over them, under them, around them. Anything, what is it, a squirrel can do to a tree? That's a preposition. Let's just figure, kind of figure it out.
Close enough.
I mean, I'm not being, I'm 4'11", so I come up to a lot of obstacles. So you just have to figure out, jump really high, or, and people do think I'm insane, and that's okay. I used to care, but not so much.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's where I was. I don't know. That's just when he's the obstacle thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's. I used to. There's. I can't remember how many of them prepositions there are, but I can quote them. But we don't want to do that. I had a really good English teacher. But yeah, it's just I try to approach everything like that. You can figure out a way through it, around it, over it, under it. But you just got to be on your toes, I guess. I don't know. But it's not going to, don't let it stop you. That's like not even an option.
So right. Ooh, true that, Lindsay. I love it. Love it. Like a man said one time, I used to care what other people thought of me until one day I tried to pay my bills with their opinions.
Exactly. Didn't work too well.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you so much.
You.
Oh, indeed. Well, I'm What was that movie? The Freshman? I'm absolutely filled with emotion. Marvelous. Hey, Bill McDonald. How do, sir?
Hi, Glenn. A very happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You clearly had an easy paper round. It must have been downhill all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Falling off a log, man.
Life's been good to you, Glenn. You've went over a lot of things, and I guess when everybody reaches little milestones, and in an age, it's a time for reflection, and it is nice to reflect and remember those that inspired you or helped you along the way, and to appreciate that.
Mm.
Much like yourself, I'm very lucky to be still connected with a woman that, for some strange reason, still loves me. But you know, we're all a little insane, I think, so that's pretty good. I like your story about obstacles, your thoughts on that. And if I could, I mean, it's easy to complain about obstacles. It's easy to complain about agonies. Certainly, I would have good cause to complain about a lot of things at present, but I choose not to. I would rather, as the man says, wade through that shit and get out the other side, and hopefully still maintaining a smile. But looking at obstacles, as you have put it, and facing them as a challenge, I think that's a pretty damn good way to do it. And I can tell you from some of the driving courses that I've done that are highly skilled, that's exactly what you're taught to do when you're approaching an obstacle or a hazard. You plan for that hazard. Sometimes they come up on you pretty damn quick, but that's a testament of your skill. If they come up on you quick and you still deal with them, if you can see them coming down that road, you have time to plan that. You can approach that at the right speed. You can approach it in the right gear. You can have all your eyes front and sideways, ready to see what's coming around the corner. And with good luck and good grace, you will get through that obstacle with tantamount ease on most occasions because you've prepared yourself correctly. We did have a saying in my job that you used to have to commentate when you were driving. When you were doing some of these courses, you had to do the commentary, talking about the road, talking about what you saw. You know, looking into the distance, I can see X, Y, Z. I see a number of cars to the foreground. I see a number of cars following me, etc., etc. But we do have a saying that befitted some people's ideas of dealing with obstacles or challenges in their life, and that was looking into the distance. I can see my windshield wipers because that's about as far as they were looking ahead.
Wow.
But I know that you are not like that, Glenn. You are an inspiration. I thoroughly enjoy listening to you. I know I can't make it all the time at timings with our wonderful time zones, but perhaps one day that'll all change. Maybe I was sitting in Texas, so that would do.
Hey, party at my house.
But yeah, I really appreciate what you do for this group, Glenn, and thank you very much for your insights and your inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. It's an honor for me to be among you. Thank you. Jamie, what's up, my friend? Good to see you.
Well,
Yes, got you loud and clear, Jamie. Please go forward.
I got nothing profound to talk about,
All right.
but all I have to say is happy birthday, big fella. And your topic just unbelievable today for me to hear where I'm at today with stuff that's going on. Sorry about all the movement here. I wasn't prepared. I just, you're my idol, man. I'm just so glad you're part of this group and to listen to I can't always get to you live, but I certainly, as well as everybody else, I get to you on the recordings. But man, the stuff that you come up with and what you talk about, excuse me, it's pure. and it's right on, and it's it just inspires me, and I'm pretty sure it inspires quite a few other people here too. So I thank you, brother. I appreciate you, as well as I appreciate everybody here too as well. Enjoy your day. I hope you have a great one. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Sweet. Thank you, Jamie. Man, I appreciate that. Boy, if you've ever spoken, any of us, if you've ever spoken to a small group of people, shared something with a small group, or larger audience or whatever, and I know many of you can attest to this. John, you can testify. It's to know that something you said made a difference to somebody, to know that something you said was of some value to someone, to know that what you said, something you said, inspired someone's life. It's kind of like magic. And it's a very cool place to be. Coral, how do you do?
I'm fine, thanks, Glenn. I've got nothing profound to say, but I appreciated what you have said today, and all the gratefulness and for the people in your life that have brought you to where you are. And it just reminded me of a saying of Maya Angelou, who I love. And she said that, what is it? We can't choose our circumstances, but we can choose not to be reduced by them. And so despite all of those years that you spent in no man's land, always looking over your shoulder, never knowing what tomorrow is going to bring, you didn't let those circumstances reduce you. And the other one she says is that, if we're too busy trying to be normal, we can never see how amazing we are. So obviously, Glenn, you've lived quite a lot of your life being abnormal. And I'm pleased about that. But yes, I really appreciate you being so grateful to people, and what you said about John today is so true. So true. He inspires us with his work ethic and his enthusiasm, and I go on and on. But thank you. That's I'm just saying thank you, Glenn. It's nothing profound or educational.
Thank you, Coral. There are few words in any language more. If I may offer this, there are few words in any language that are more profound than thank you. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. Zig Ziglar. A book that we are probably, I'm sure, is on our list, The Science of Getting Rich. One of the steps in bringing and attracting wealth to us is an attitude, living our lives in a consistent state of gratitude. So thank you. Absolutely. Maybe even the most profound words someone might say. Boy, this has been, Jamie, you were asking, hoping that we celebrate. Tell you what we're doing. Tonight, Paula and I are going out for dinner to our favorite restaurant in town here, the Capitol Grill. Probably some nice steaks and stuff on there. And we go there all the time, and very, very frequently. And, the staff, we've been there so long, the staff treat us like family. So might as well go have dinner with family. And I had some wonderful, wonderful news late last night. A buddy of mine, I called a buddy of mine because he has the same birth date as I do, January 27th. You know who it is? Big Bill Mills, a good friend that I met in the Middle East. Now, when you meet Big Bill, you wouldn't need to ask, why we call him Big Bill Mills. Stands about 6'6", maybe 350 pounds or so, with a heart bigger than that. Wonderful, wonderful guy. We're great, great friends. I met Bill in the Middle East all those years ago. I met him when I first got there. 17, so you could, Big Bill and I have been friends for 17 years. Guess what? Guess what? Bill's wife, who was born abroad outside the U.S., was born in the Philippines. They are in the States for her citizenship swearing-in ceremony. She's now officially an American citizen, and you know what else? They're in Houston today. They're coming out to dinner with us tonight. Woo-hoo. Haven't seen Bill and Euphrates in 3 years. And they're having dinner. They're coming for our birthday dinner. Is that some good news or what? Fantastic. Boy, amazing, amazing, amazing news. And then this Saturday, we're throwing a big party here at the house, having about 20, 25 people over. And the party's going to go from 6 o'clock till the last person leaves. My wife is so wonderful. You know what she bought me for my 68th birthday? The main present, a couple of little things. You know what she bought me? A brand new bicycle. How about that? Brand new bicycle for a whole new chapter. And the very first thing I did to kick off my birthday today was a 20-mile ride. Hell yeah. Boy, y'all ain't gonna recognize this brother in about 6 months. I'm telling you what. Yes, yes. Watch your back, John. I'm coming for you. Oh, are we having some fun here today? Yes, indeed. Time flies when you're having fun. Then again, time flies anyway, doesn't it? Which is why we said, life is short. Eat dessert first.
Hey, Glenn,
Well,
I'll jump out here real quick.
Go for it.
I've been handling a bunch of communications inbound while we've been doing this, and I have to say, man, your emotion-filled expression today and consistently is something that has spoken to me as a colleague and also as a friend. And you know, we've done some stuff together over the last couple of years in various capacities. And you mentioned, you know, when I had asked you to come and be a facilitator here, well, it was because I know you as a guy who tends to lift people up, and your heart is in it, you know, and I think a lot of people learn from you as much as you learn from many others. And I think that is perhaps the message, you know, that I got out of all this is that, you know, we can't do this alone, right? Hence the whole point of a mastermind group. And you know, I don't always know. In fact, I never know, you know, what the entirety of the effect will be when I start out on some path. And I think your ability to continue looking down the path and taking those steps, having the courage to publish that book, right? To reach, right? To do something more than you've done before. That right there, that example is instructive and inspiring, whether you said the words or not. And I think that's why you show up as an asset. And this isn't just to give Glenn a tongue bath, because lots of people show up as assets here in this group, not only to yourself, but to the group. That is, I think that's the whole trick. The old saying, you know, tell me what you're going to do, but show me first, right? And Glenn, you tend to show us. And you also, you know, you got some words too, right? You got, you know, nouns and verbs and stuff, you know, you got words. So thank you for being an asset to this group and to me and of course my family, you know, in our life. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to share. And I think anyone who may be wondering, you know, if you're an asset, maybe go ahead and grab that pen and paper and make a little integrity list, right? Here's all the stuff you do right. Here's all the stuff that you said you were going to do that you did. Look at how able you are. How friggin' able are you? Yay, right? So thanks, man. I'll shut up.
Thank you, John. You see what I mean? You know, every time this man opens his mouth, profundities fall out. I get fired up. every time. Listen to them. Sometimes I get pissed off because I'm reminded of those things I didn't do. And that's cool too, because it's a reminder to me to do them. So thank you, John. Thank you for everything, my friend. Linda Landry, good to see you. What's happening?
Hi, Glenn. Happy birthday. Hi, everyone.
Thank you.
Well, Glenn, I'm turning 60 this year too. So, which is a huge milestone for me. I don't know how big it was for you, but just all your reflections and your gratefulness for all the people in your lives made me, as you're going through, made me reflect on all the people who've touched my lives. So, my life. So thank you for that. Thank you. That was great.
Thank you, Linda. You know, and that's the whole idea to me. Remember I mentioned just a minute ago, if you've got something to say to someone, go ahead and say it. Because, yeah, you've heard me say this before, everything in life is about creating relationships and building relationships and strengthening relationships. We can't know the power that our words have. We can't know how we will change someone else's life. There's no way to predict how far the ripples spread. Yeah, you knew it was coming, right? There's an episode of Star Trek called Space Seed. It marked the first appearance of the villain Khan. And at one point, Mr. Spock says to Captain Kirk, it would be interesting, Captain, to go back one day, to go back and see what crop has sprouted from the seeds you planted today. If you only knew the power that you have to change, to quite literally change someone's life simply by being who you are and by choosing to do more than you thought you could do, and by choosing to face your fears and move past them and to get excited about the obstacles and knock them down, blast through them and keep going and keep moving forward. Rocky Balboa, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, to take the hits and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Take the hits and keep moving forward. Now, can we all sing like Pavarotti? Can we all play basketball like Michael Jordan? Can we all play footy like Messi? Can we all build a business can we all invest like Warren Buffett? Can we all build a business like Elon Musk? Can we all design clothes like Karl Lagerfeld? Can we write a song like Prince? Can we all take the hits and keep moving forward? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Take the hits, keep moving forward. My friends, that's how winning is done. Hey, I got to jump off of here because, as I mentioned, I've got a podcast interview coming up with my good friend Suzanne Doyle Ingram, who was the one who told me, Glenn, write the damn book. And you know what she did? By way of appreciating that I finally wrote the book, she published it for me. Who knew? So I thank you all for sharing this very special day with me. Life lessons that I have already learned in this mastermind that I shall carry with me all of my days. And I'm grateful to all of you. So, hey, Talk amongst yourselves. Here's what I got to do though. Before I leave, I need to make somebody the co-host. Tell you what, John, you going to be around for a minute?
No, this is general session. We wrap up here and we have our,
Oh.
our hospitality suite, which is open for everyone. Yes.
Yes. So.
All right. You must be thinking of a different platform.
Yes, that's right. It's the next Zoom call I got going. Listen, thank you all so much, my friends. I love you, each and every one. I appreciate you. Let's do this again real soon. What do you say? Hospitality Suite coming up, books for Britain with Mandy at 2 Eastern. Again, no networking magic. This evening, I'm going to be eating steak. We shall see you tomorrow. Back on the mastermind. All my friends, live long and prosper. God bless. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.
Happy birthday, Glenn.
Thank you.